kicking it all off again, aren't
We
you?
are.
Leicester.
Leicester, 12:30,
How
live
do
on
you feel?
talkSPORT. Yeah, I mean, I'm not, Leicester are a tough team. They've got some decent results already this season. How do you get on their play? Oh, you drew.
Yeah, we drew.
First game of the season, wasn't it?
Yeah, we
Should have
played
won
well,
it.
though.
Oh, so you should have been 3 or 4 up at half time.
We could have been third going into this weekend.
I know, but
could have been. We were 10th.
I know, but
That's how close it is.
So here's the thing, right? The Spurs fans right now.
Go on.
Anyone that's talking about Postecoglou's job, I just don't get it or see it.
No, I don't get it.
He's 3 points off Arsenal and Chelsea. It's so tight. The problem you've got right now is if you lose 2 games, you can sit 14th. If you win 2, you can go 3rd, pretty, or 4th.
Yeah, I know.
That is exactly what it looks like right now. I just don't get the argument. Look, you've got City away at the weekend, 5:30. You and I are not on air at the time. If they lose that, Spurs, obviously, think people will talk again. But I just, right now, City away, I know you've got a pretty good record there, mate, but...
Boogie team. How do we go about this game? How do we approach it? Because, look, we know we can score goals. We know we can attack. We can be exciting to watch. Defending, no, Rick. Honestly, it's Mickey Mouse at times.
You know what, Jay, as we know with Tottenham, the reality is Ange is not going to change. He's got his philosophy, he's got his way, and he will not veer away from that. So he will go to Man City playing the way in which he wants Spurs to play. In the bizarre way, I think maybe the way City play might benefit Tottenham to some degree in terms of the way they'll set up, and Spurs will have opportunities on the counter, where I think at the moment we've scored a number of counter-attacking goals this season in general. But, with Tottenham, the concern, as you said there, is that defensively we have got issues at the back where, let's be honest about it, Romero has switched off a number of times. And not only is he a doubt, obviously, without Mickey van der Ven going into the game. So it does mean that Dragoshin will no doubt be featured in this one. And it really depends on what Tottenham turn up. Not only do we need a result, we need a performance. I think on the back of that Ipswich game, many questions were asked about the commitment and passion of the players and whether that was there. And I feel that this last week or so of the internationals, there's been a lot of talk about disharmony around the camp. I think, result aside, Ange needs a performance from the players to really show the fans they're still performing for him.
I'll ask this question to both of you. The way that Ange plays, he's unashamed of the way that they play. It's going to be his way. He plays this open, attacking brand of football, but inevitably you are going to leave gaps at the back, as Ipswich exploited. I just wonder, is this what Ipswich are now? Spurs are, that you can beat Villa convincingly, but you can also lose to Palace and Ipswich. Do you know what? Spurs are more than capable of getting a result at the weekend.
Yeah, of course.
More than capable.
Agree. Yeah. But the problem is, like I say, Jay, from 1 week to the next with Tottenham, you're not sure what Spurs are going to turn up. My concern at the moment is that I think, as a side, it appears to have more of an emphasis on turning up for the bigger games. But in the games where you expect Tottenham to get a result, the likes of Ipswich, the likes of Brighton for 20, 25 minutes and Palace away, we have not got, in my opinion, enough leaders there to see through the difficult moments in a game where you're going through a period where you need to remain strong, grit it out, see it out. And I just feel Tottenham lack that leadership. And with no disrespect to Ange, my concern is that he hasn't changed these games to give me the confidence to show me he can change these games midway when things are going for us. I think we've got a group of players that when things are going well, it's all great. But when we're up against it, I don't see enough players that are digging us out to really get us back into games and showing us that we can weather some storms. And that is my biggest concern about this Tottenham team at the moment.
Rick, look, if we do lose the game, obviously got some big fixtures coming up as well, and we could find ourselves lingering in mid-table. Do you think Postecolgou could come under pressure for his job?
Do you know what, Jay? Following Spurs and you being an ex-player, I think there's always pressure there, especially with Daniel Levy as the chairman. I think the longer and longer that gap increases between Tottenham and the top four, and will be under pressure, no doubt about it. At the end of the day, we know the remit of Tottenham managers, head coaches, is to finish in the top four, and the bigger that gap grows, the more pressure that will increase on Ange Postecoglou.
It's only 3 points, Ricky. That's the thing.
I know, but if it becomes 9...
well, of course. But right now, that gap's only 3 points.
Yeah, I know.
I think the thing is, though, Jason, you look at the teams we've faced so far, with no disrespect, we've had a favourable start to the season in terms of the fixtures. I know that you can't say that every game's a given, but the concern is, as I think Jay has said there, in this next month, we've got some huge fixtures that could really, I think, set the tone for what I say is the business stage of the campaign. We've got a Carabao Cup quarter-final win there. That is then followed by Liverpool in the Premier League that respective weekend. So I feel really this next month is going to tell us a lot about where Spurs are going to be under Ange Postecoglou. And you guys know it with the fan mood. You have different supporters call up all the time that are Spurs fans. And they all have different takes on the manager. I feel at the moment he needs to win back some of those fans that are restless, and show that he's still got control of the camp. And that will be really intriguing to see how he does in his next set of fixtures to come.
Yeah, I mean, look, in terms of going into January, as you said, there's big fixtures coming up. Do you think do we need to look at another few players to come in, help out?
The problem, Jay, I've got with the nature of Spurs' recruitment is that I think we've got some really good young players, but the problem we've got is I don't think we've got enough players to affect the now. You have to bear in mind that we signed Lucas Bergvall and Archie Gray, and the manager was telling us before a ball was kicked that Spurs are going to be in the title race, and we no disrespect, Bergvall and Gray have not even started a Premier League game up until now. Yeah. That might change this weekend, of course, because there's no Bentancur there with that domestic ban. But the reality is, I felt it's a long time, if I'm going to be honest with you boys, that we never truly give the manager the tools he requires, and that's been the same, not just under Ange, under Conte, under Mourinho, going back to Pochettino, where really they're geared to work with a certain group of players, and I'm not sure how many of those players really the manager has asked for. And that's my biggest concern with January's window. Spurs have made it abundantly clear they are calling for investment, and that's why, again, I don't think we can get too excited about January's window, because the club have said at that point they want to enhance the men's and the women's first team by having that investment. And I think until Spurs get that investment, I don't think Spurs will have the financial command there when it comes to signing the players that, as fans, we know we need to take us forward.
There are a number of players that are still settling in. Dominic Solanke is one of those. He's only played a handful of games. He had an injury. There are signs that he's slowly but surely getting back to the player we saw at Bournemouth 12 months ago. Is it key now that between now and certainly the end of going into the end of the season that you get the best out of him? Because it does seem like there's a player slowly but surely emerging.
Yeah, Dom's not been a problem for Tottenham. I think he's been good overall. The thing is, as a striker, he's coming in replacing Harry Kane. I mean, what a difficult act that is to follow. You're replacing one of the greatest goal scorers in Spurs' history, and Dom is being held to that standard pretty much every single week with regards to his performances and goal contributions. So look, I've been happy with Dom so far. I think, like I say, generally his build-up play has been really good. He's contributed a number of goals so far, but he's got Harry Kane. So again, this is the thing with Tottenham. We have to also align our expectations where, he's a good striker, don't get me wrong, but Harry Kane was a man that could do everything. That's not me poo-pooing Dominic Solanke. I think he's a good striker. He will get goals in his side. But again, it comes down to the service. I think we've lacked that at times this season where he's not been given the service to get the goals. So, like all strikers, boys, they're judged on their output, they're judged on their contributions, and Dominic Solanke will be exactly the same as that. So give him the chances, he'll score goals. If you don't give him the service, he won't score goals.
Yeah. All right, Rick, top man, mate. Appreciate you coming on.
Cheers, Rick.
Pleasure, boys.
Take care, bud.
All right.
Keep up the great work.
Cheers, matey. Don't forget the Sunday session with Sam Matterface, Perry Groves. We'll keep you posted on all the big moments from the game this Sunday. Let's go to Rhino. He's a Spurs fan. All right, Rise?
Rhino?
All right, Jay, all right, boys?
Yeah, we're good, Rise. Look, obviously, talking a bit of Spurs and Ange, do you think he could come under a bit of pressure? We keep losing?
I think he's already under pressure, mate. If you look at our results since the beginning of 2024, we're relegation material, mate. I saw this stat that we'd be in a bottom three based on our results since the beginning of the year. You think
really?
Yeah, mate. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, check it out. 100%. It was on Facebook. I think the biggest challenge is that we started unbelievably under him, and then we completely capitulated. And my concern is that, is he the right person to take us forward? When you look at the way he plays football, I think you've got sort of a bunch of Spurs fans that are absolutely buzzing because we're playing attacking football. But Jay, both of you have played football at the highest level. Let's be completely real. How much more can we forgive him for, sort of making inept tactical changes when he needs to, based on the fact that we've been craving amazing football as Spurs fans for as long as we have?
Yeah, I know, but look, he doesn't take, defensive football for him is like, it's just not going to happen. He don't like it. He doesn't really concentrate on it, I don't think. It's all about, moving the ball quickly, trying to score goals, and he's relying on good centre-halves to get him out of jail. But the problem he's got really this season, Romero's not been great. Romero's had a bad season so far for me. Van der Ven's picked up an injury. So it is, it is costing us a little bit. And Vicario's been found out, from crosses. And that has been an issue for him, They're good players, but...
Yeah, and Jay, a couple of points I want to make is, number one, is that you look at the promising young talent we've recruited, the only one that's really shown unbelievable promise, like they're made for the Premier League, is Archie Gray. You know, you look at that kid, you think that guy is absolutely mustard. But Lucas Berger, when he first started, everyone was absolutely purring over him. But since that Vicario scream at him when he made that mistake, the kid's lost all his confidence and is literally can't even pass the ball properly. But I don't know if you've heard this. You know, this isn't obviously breaking news or anything. I've just seen it reported, could be completely hearsay. But apparently Ange just fell out with the likes of Romero and Maddison. And, there's a lot of chat on, on X and, in the forums that he's lost the dressing room a little bit.
Well,
I don't know if you've read that, Jay.
I've not heard that, mate. I'll be honest. I've not heard that. We'll see. Over the next month, if that is the case, and if the players are turning. I don't think they have. I don't.
Did you see David Pleat's interview with Jim and
I heard a little bit of it. It
was absolutely brilliant, and he was absolutely amazing. I think he was right on. Because I'm a big Levy fan. I think as much as people say he ain't got the ambition, you look at what he's done. I think Levy deserves a lot of credit for what he's done in a sense.
Yeah.
But I think what David did say, which is a really fair comment, was he turned around and went, "You've got to be able to play both ways. You can't just be one way." And if you look at Ange's record, he's took, except for Australia, he's took the best team in. He managed the best team in Japan, he managed the best team in Scotland, and he was able to play the way he played because the other teams around him weren't good enough to deal with it.
Yeah.
And you look at the Premier League, mate, it's completely different. It's different gravy, isn't it?
Well, he's not the best team. He ain't got the best players.
It's different gravy.
Right, top man, mate. I appreciate your call. Thanks for coming on.
Ryan.
The Sports Bar with Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy. Monday to Thursday nights from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.